A man claiming to be my son found me. He said I had abandoned his mother, that I ran. My name is Thomas, and I am 82. The phone felt like a dead thing in my hand. His voice was cold, like eastern winter wind. He said his name was Daniel, from Boston. I told him he had the wrong man, wrong number. But he said her name then. He said Clara. That name was a ghost in my quiet house. I hung up the phone. My hands wouldn't be still. You live 82 years, you think you know things. The foundation of my life gave a sudden shudder. I looked out the window at my empty land. 70 years of peace, gone in 1 minute. What do you do when your past is a lie? The silence in the house was screaming at me. I went to the back closet, deep and dark. There was an old footlocker, covered in dust. I hadn't opened it since the war, I swear. The latches fought me. They were rusted shut. Inside smelled of old wool and lost time. My uniform was there, folded neat and tight, and her letters, tied with a faded blue ribbon. I touched that ribbon, and I was 17 again. Her handwriting, like little birds across the page. She wrote she would wait for me forever. I believed her. I built my life on it. Then the official letter came. It said she died. A bomb, they said. A random hit. No body. So how could a dead woman have a son? I read her letters until the sun came up. Each word was a nail in my heart. We met at a dance hall before I shipped out. She had hair like wheat under a summer sun, and a laugh that could stop a charging train. We had one night, one perfect stolen night. I promised her the world when I returned. I promised I would write to her every day. The war was hell, but her letters were heaven. Then my tour ended. I came home a hero. But my first letter to her was returned, unopened. So I went to her parents' house in Boston. Her mother answered, her face a stone mask. She did not ask me in. She handed me a note. It said Clara was dead, gone. A bombing raid. There was nothing left to bury. I remember crumbling right there on their porch. My world ended on a clean Boston doorstep. I came back here to Nebraska to die, but I didn't die. I just persisted. I existed. I married a good woman later, I did, but my heart was always in that grave. The phone rang again. It was him, Daniel. I didn't hang up this time. I listened. His voice was different, softer, full of pain. He said, "She didn't die in the war, Thomas." The floor fell out from under my feet. I gripped the wall to keep from falling. 70 years of grief turned to pure confusion. If she didn't die, then why did she... She was pregnant, Daniel said, his voice quiet. Those 3 words shattered every truth I knew. Her family was strict, Catholic, and they were furious. They told her I was dead, killed in action. They told me she was dead, killed by bombs. They sent her away to have the baby, my son. She named him Daniel, after her father. She spent her whole life looking for me. She thought I had abandoned her, you see. She thought I knew about you and left. All those years she lived with that pain, and I lived with mine, a perfect mirror. 2 lives completely ruined by one vicious lie. I felt a rage I didn't know I possessed. It was a hot, dry fire in my gut. All those years, I could have had everything. I could have known my own boy, what I could have held her, grown old with. What is a life built on a stolen foundation? I was so angry I couldn't speak. I couldn't breathe. Daniel let the silence hang there between us. He was giving me time to feel it all. Then he said she was in a nursing home. She was frail. Her mind was still sharp, though. He had told her he had found me. After all this time, she knew I was alive. "Did you want to talk to her?" he asked. It was the easiest, hardest question of my life. To hear the ghost's voice after 70 years, would it be a blessing or a final curse? I said yes. My voice was a stranger's. He connected the call. The phone line hissed, and then her voice. "Thomas!" It was her. Time collapsed. I was a boy on the line. "Clara," I said, and then I started to cry. I am not a man who cries, not ever. We talked for an hour, maybe it was 2. We did not talk of anger or blame. We talked about the son we never shared. We talked about the lives we lived apart. She never married. She said she couldn't somehow. I told her about my late wife, the farm. It was not awkward. It was just sad. A beautiful, bittersweet sadness that filled me up. We had said all there was to say. "Goodbye, Thomas," she said, her voice so faint. "Goodbye, Clara," I said. I hung up the phone. I sat in my chair until it was dark. The grief was gone. It was just gone. In its place was a vast, empty plain, a landscape of what-ifs and might-have-beens. Daniel called me back the very next day. He said the call had been good for her. She was brighter, more present than in years. Then he asked me the real question now. "She doesn't have much time left, Thomas. Will you come? Can you come to see her? To look into the eyes of my ghost? To meet the son I made but never knew? To face the life that was stolen from us?" I looked around this old, quiet, empty house. At the land I worked for 60 years. This was my sanctuary, my self-made prison cell. My name is Thomas, and I am 82. Do I stay with my ghost or go?